Anyway, the Cavs guys, we talked a little bit about this earlier. Donovan Mitchell, not there. Everybody else had to step up. And I thought outside of Isaac Okoro, everybody else really stepped up.
Well, when I looked at it, this was interesting for me because obviously once this season wraps up, there's some decisions that's got to be made. And I was looking at this game like, how would the Cavs look if Donovan wasn't on the team? That's how I look. That's how I went in this game. I finally get to see them in a meaningful game where they got to play hard. Is this team good enough to be great? And I was sitting there looking at it like I was impressed with the attitude and with the way that they went about everything. But I still think that they would need another star.
Of course, yeah.
Like it just like I don't think that they haven't taken the next step in their career like you thought they would at this point because they've been quote unquote handicapped by the fact that Donovan's going to do it.
I think that's unfair. I think it's unfair to call it handicapped. They've handicapped themselves.
True, but I think Jayson might have said this as he's deep in thought over here. He's deep.
I'm coming back.
But I think Jayson.
Don't worry about it.
Jeez. I think Jayson was telling me.
All right, ADD, I'm here.
Thank you.
What?
That the difference between like LeBron and Donovan is that Donovan won't let a game go. Like he'll say, you know what, bleep it, give me the ball like that. To where LeBron will be like, if that's what y'all want to do, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, because I'm not entertaining that. Go ahead. Y'all figure it out. But Donovan is like, no, I'll just give it to me. I'll figure it out for us.
I think Donovan's come around on that a little bit. We had a conversation toward the end of the season where he basically said like he had some grown up and maturity to do too.
Yeah.
But you're 100% right. If you go back, LeBron's first season here, 2014-15, when he came back the first time, there was a game at Portland. It was like the third or fourth game of the season. And LeBron literally stood in the corner at Portland and wouldn't move.
I remember that.
And watched Dion and Kyrie just dribble themselves silly. And after the game, he said, we got a lot of bad habits. We got to get up out of here. And it was very much what you just said. If that's how y'all want to do it, I am not going to be a part of this. You guys just go do whatever you want to do. And slowly he had to, break the Colts a little bit, break the horses, and get them to play more of a team-style game. And very much LeBron would punt regular season games and send messages. He did it all the time. See, probably too much.
And I feel like with the growth of Darius, he still hasn't really learned that because Donovan would be like, give me the ball. Just stand away. To whereas Darius should have, at this point, he's been in the league, this is year 5 for him?
Year 5.
He's been in the league for 5 years, and he still does a lot of dribbling and still a lot of, like, moving with the ball and stuff. And it's like, how haven't you figured out, like, that's not going to work? Like, this ain't the video game. Like, you're not about to sit there and cross somebody over and then go. Like, it don't work like that. These guys is good defenders. So you got to have a better idea of swinging the ball around. Like, maybe dribble, penetrate, then kick, something like. But it's just, for me, it just seemed like he's been the same guy that he was 3 years ago.
You're right. There hasn't been a ton of growth, I don't think, in Darius's game. If you want a level of criticism at the coaching staff, one of them is the lack of growth in Darius and maybe not as much growth on the offensive side as you expect to see out of Evan. Another thing on the LeBron-Donovan thing that I would add is Donovan is the one who's supposed to be leading them and guiding them, but he hasn't really made it very far up the mountain either.
That's true.
So it's not like, LeBron had won multiple championships when he came back here. He knew how to get there. He knew the path to get there, and he took – it wasn't that young of a team because they turned over almost the entire roster that summer, and he came back and brought in a lot of veterans. But Kyrie and Kevin, the two guys he counted on the most, were young. Kevin not so much, but certainly didn't know how to win. They didn't know how to win.
He knew how to get 20-20 in Minnesota, though.
Yeah, but
and Tristan, he hadn't done any winning.
Yeah, and Tristan hadn't done it. And Dion, they got Dion up out of here.
Right, yeah.
And they brought in JR, and that actually worked. But there's winning is a skill that you have to develop of how you learn how to do that. And Donovan is a tremendous player and a tremendous piece.
You don't think he's a winner?
What I'm saying is he hasn't made it. How far up the mountain has he gone? He's only made it to the second round.
He's never gotten past.
I guess I hear what you're saying because you're saying like,
how can you teach
I,
someone
if you ain't did it?
If you haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And so, but And that's not a knock
Well, if
on.
that's the case, then
That's not a knock on him, and that's not a knock on the trade at all.
No.
But I'm just saying, I think he can teach Darius a lot. I think he's a better player than Darius, obviously, and I think that there's stuff that he can teach him. But in terms of how to win and advance in the NBA, it's hard for Donovan to do that because Donovan hasn't done it yet.
By the way, I don't know if we should read anything into this, and I don't know if anybody noticed it besides me, but when Jayson said, talked about LeBron in 2014 now, you said when LeBron came back the first time.
you are. Here, look, you just as mad. He's just as mad as Jayson. Y'all love just
Does that mean he's
stirring
going to
it
be a
up.
second time?
Got that cauldron over there with that witch's broom.
Is there going to be a second
Bull's
time,
got
Jason
that
Lloyd?
cauldron with that witch's broom. He's got
Jayson
the fire underneath the
Jayson
cauldron.
has said multiple times on this show that the
Yes.
chances of LeBron coming back is now greater than 0%.
Yeah.
Is it greater than 10%?
Yeah.
Is it greater than 13%?
I'm not doing this game.
We're gonna spend the whole LeBron thing in
All
a
right.
sec. Outside of DG though,
Yeah.
we saw Levert show up early. He set all his points in the second half in Game 3 last night from the get-go. He made it a point to be aggressive, control the offense. We saw Strus hit 5 threes in the first half. Mobley finished the game with 19 and 10.
But
Guys
Mike, let
who
me cut
need
you
to
off for a
step
second
up.
because I
Stepped
don't
up.
think, I'm sorry, I don't think Strus and Levert matter because Strus
Whoa.
and here's why. Let me explain to you. Strus and Levert are who they are. They are who they are. We know who they are as players. Right?
Oh yeah, and I'm just saying last night.
Right, but what I'm saying is why I think it was important. Like, I think the story is about how Darius, Evan, and Okoro played. Because
Yeah, that's bigger than Levert and Strus. I give you that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying last night, Strus hit 5 threes in the first half. If he doesn't hit 5 threes, that game's not close at halftime.
Yep.
And you got contributions from George Niang.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
seen
Undertaker
it there.
dead,
I
hit a
seen
three.
it, hit a trade.
And listen, I like George. Then he got cooked by Drew Holiday on 2 straight possessions. Immediately got yanked. So his plus minus was -1. Because I'm being realistic. I'm being fair. I'm telling both sides of the story. In the big picture, Bull, you are 100% right. Strus is who he is. Levert is Caris Levert.
yeah.
And what they did last night doesn't answer any and one game's not going to answer any questions.
No.
But it doesn't give you any more clarity on what their long-term future is because we kind of know who they are. But last night, they needed everybody to step up in Donovan's absence. And everybody who played outside of Isaac Okoro had a positive impact on the Cavs being able to hang. That was more of my point.
What was Strus's contract with us?
4 for 64.
That's a bad contract, isn't it? I mean, his career three-point numbers are not very good. Last year he overachieved. Isn't that fair to say?
Who else
And
was
this year he regressed to what he's always been in his career.
But this is Caris is wildly inconsistent. But in terms of is it an overpay, they didn't really have a choice.
No, not Levert.
I'm talking about Strus.
Oh, Strus.
Yeah.
Again, didn't really have a choice. You know how hard it is to get free agents to come here? Like, they paid him what it was going to take to get him here.
But they paid him. Did they pay him expecting what he did last year in Miami instead of what he's done the rest of his career?
Well, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Or 2 years ago?
I think the Strus thing, and I've gone around with Lima on this. He was, I thought at the time they had a glaring need at the 3.
Yeah.
He was the best option to fill it. You are only limited to what's out there, right?
Okay.
Like, whatever the free agent class is at that time,
Right.
if you don't want to trade any of your nucleus pieces, well, you're beholden to what you have to pick from. I thought it was a great move to get him because I thought it was the best piece that fit what they needed. And he's been a very good player for them. Now, is he a perfect? No. Is he an all-star? No, he's not. But wait to see where these NBA salaries are going in the coming years when they sign this new TV deal. It's going to all these deals are going to look like a bargain. So, but like that's the fact that they got a free agent to come here at all is staggering because that just doesn't happen in Cleveland.
But don't you think it's because they overpaid him?
Maybe a little bit.
Was
but
anybody else going to pay him that?
Yeah, I think somebody else probably would have. Another team is sort of in that position.
Right.
He could have probably got. There are like the Kevin contract that they gave him. Nobody else was giving him that. The second contract. Nobody else was giving him that contract. But in this instance, I do think. Mike, do you think? I think another team would have signed Strus to that deal last summer.
Yeah, he got 6 for 63. I mean, Austin Reeves, who had bird rights and stuff with the Lakers, got 54. The next contract above him was Jakob Poeltl, who got 78. Dylan Brooks got 86 million. Would you rather give Dylan Brooks 86 million or Max
No
Strus
chance.
62?
I take Max Strus every day of the week over
Cam
Dylan
Johnson,
Brooks.
the Nets got 100 million. Is he?
I hear you.
30
None of these guys are good enough to be your championship winning
the
three.
issue is both to your point and
Yeah.
to both your points. They signed him to be a 3. He's really a 2. And their lack of size on the wings.
Yeah.
When you look at the big picture of this roster, the fact that both of their wings are 6'4" and under, if you want to count Okoro's hair, 6'5" and under.
I mean, what's funny is go back to when LeBron left the first time, okay?
Yeah.
They drafted a point guard in Kyrie, a power forward in Tristan, a shooting guard in Dion, a center in Tyler Zeller, another power forward in Anthony Bennett. These were all their first-round picks. Never drafted a small forward. And then LeBron comes back. And now this time around, they did draft Okoro. But since LeBron left the first time, they've struggled to fill the wing position when he's not here.
Right.
It's the most important position in the game, and it's the spot that they've had the most trouble filling, really, for 10 years, or for 15 years.
Are you guys done with Okoro? Are we done here with Okoro?
So he not gonna get this for $70 million.
He ain't getting the no. He's not
Paying him that.
No, we were talking.
He makes
earlier.
Max Strus look like a superstar.
No, we were talking. Mike and I were talking earlier. If he had a big postseason, a good shooting postseason, he could have made a lot of money. I still believe that, but it's not coming.
There was
Dylan
two
Brooks
key points
got
right there,
5
boy.
for 86.
Now the difference is Brooks was unrestricted and Isaac's going to be restricted this summer. That does make a difference.
I can't believe, Mike, I'm not into who's getting what money. I'm into the guy is not really a player.
But it's the comp. Dylan Brooks is a great comp for Okoro because he's a 3-and-D guy.
What?
But he's not a 3-and-D guy. He's a D guy.
I was about to say,
But if you had to label him as something, that's what you would label him as.
but
would you rather him or Bronny James?
Who? Dylan Brooks or Bronny?
wait a second. This guy, is he ever going to get any better as an offensive player, do you think?
Isaac?
Yeah.
Yeah. He continues to get better every year. Now, I'm not paying him $80 million.
He's been horrible in the playoffs.
Yes, he has.
God,
but he's still better than he was last year, which is better than he was the year before. Like, it's not all black or white. Like, there's nuance to this. He's gotten better. He hasn't been good in the playoffs, but his game is better now than it was a year ago.
Boy, I don't like what you're saying right now because you try to make it seem like defense ain't important.
It's not that defense is not important. It's just he's pretty much useless offensively, and you can't. It's hard to play that way when you have a guy.
He's unplayable in the playoffs right now.
Right.
And he was last year, too.
Yes.
But he's still a better player than he was last year. He's still improving. He's still improving.
I mean, I trust your basketball knowledge more than me.
He went from
I don't
0
see
points
but
last year to 2.
But, I mean, we talked about this. I told you guys. I was talking to other coaches around the league. How would you defend the Cavs? They all said,
Leave him open.
Leave Isaac open.
Yeah.
You got to pick
He's scared to
something.
shoot.
We're going to play off Isaac. Like, it doesn't matter what his numbers are this year. If we played them in a playoff series, we would not guard Isaac.
You know what's going to happen now in Game 5.
He's going to make 5, 6
That's
threes.
exactly what he's going to.
No chance.
He's going to make like 3 of them
In the
for
garden.
sure.
Boom.
What happened the last time you dogged Evan?
Boom.